Joining us now, the Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz. He's a Democrat who serves on the Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Do you think Democrats are getting any concessions for helping Speaker Johnson get this legislation across the finish line?
Thanks, Wolf. Thanks for having me. I think the American people are getting those concessions. Remember, these are bills we could have passed months ago. We could have passed Israel aid, the week Speaker Johnson became Speaker. That was right after October 7th. He tied it to the IRS instead, played politics with it, and killed the bill. We've had the Senate bill now for months. This basically is the Senate bill that we're doing in the House, just divided in separate votes. It's a distinction really without a difference. And so, look, Democrats are leading. As Speaker Jeffrey says, this is a Churchill or Chamberlain moment, and Democrats, along with some of our Republican colleagues, are deciding this is our Churchill moment to make sure that we're standing by our allies, not just Ukraine and Israel, but sending the message to all of our allies around the world that you can still depend on America, and not ceding more power to Russia and China. If this bill fails, Russia and China are the winners. You cannot be a Republican here and say you're worried about China's aggression and then vote against this. Because this dies, China becomes more powerful. They fill the void. And China, Russia, and Iran, that axis of evil, will look at this and tell the rest of the world, now's the time to do business with us and not with America.
This week, you introduced a bipartisan bill, Congressman, condemning Iran's last weekend drone and cruise missile attack on Israel. How do you read Israel's clearly more limited and precise strike on Iran that happened overnight?
Yeah, let's be clear on this. First of all, I think what Israel did was smart. They launched 1% of the amount of weapons that Iran launched. Iran launched over 300 missiles, drones. Israel launched like 3 or 4. So they launched 1%. So Iran had a disproportional response to the bombing of that compound. Israel has had less than a proportional response. It was a message to Iran that said, your weapons cannot get through our defense systems, but our weapons can get through your defense systems. You should remember that. Now everybody go back to the way it was. But let's be clear, you know what the way it was? The way it was is Iran attacking Israel with all of their proxies, right? With Hezbollah and the Houthis and Hamas. And so it's not like it's just going back to this wonderful scenario. Iran's been messing with Israel through all of its proxies. But I think what Israel did was smart. I think it was limited. It's not looking for provocation. It's looking to make sure that we're not having a hot war directly between Iran and Israel. But I think it was the right message. You don't get to send ballistic missiles into a country, ballistic missiles that could carry a nuclear warhead, and think that country doesn't get to respond. That's not a win. Okay, you got to make sure that you reinstall deterrence. And I think that's what Israel did.
Do you see any indication, Congressman, that Iran will respond, or do you think direct strikes between Israel and Iran, at least for now, will stop?
I think from the information that's been made available publicly, it appears that this is now going to simmer down. It does not appear to be escalatory. Iran has not languaged or put anything out since the strike that they're looking for that. In fact, they're downplaying it in their media. They're saying that there was no strike. So I hope that's the case. I hope no one makes any rash decisions. We don't want a regional conflict. Obviously, we have enough of a mess right now in the world between what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in Ukraine, and let's not forget these other things that are going on: the Uyghurs in China, the genocide in Sudan, Russia messing with Haiti, trying to destabilize Haiti to cause problems in the Western Hemisphere. There's a lot going on. And so we don't need a regional war in the Middle East. But I think Israel had every right to send that message to Iran. And now let's hope this situation is over.
Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida, thanks so much for joining us.